What's up, everybody? Welcome back to racingnews.com and welcome back to another one of our videos. Well, in this one, we're going to talk about the 3-year-old of the year debate for the male side of it. Obviously, we know the female who's going to be the 3-year-old of the year and the horse of the year. That's Torpedo Anna. The 3-year-old of the year on the male side. Boy, boy, boy. This is a very debated topic right now, I would say, in horse racing. Let's get to it now. I'll pull the two horses up on the screen, the Equibase horses. And I will start with Fierceness first. Going into the Breeders' Cup Classic, we said if Fierceness won it, he would not only be 3-year-old of the year, he would be the horse of the year. Well, he got second. The bad news is he got beat by another 3-year-old. But let's talk about Fierceness first here. 6 races this year, 3 wins, a first and a second. Started off with a third in the Holy Bull. That's kind of a forgotten race by now. The Florida Derby, a huge effort. And then I think this is going to be a bad one for him and the one that maybe costs him the whole thing. 15th in the Kentucky Derby, no running whatsoever. So missed the Triple Crown after that, did not run in the Preakness or the Belmont. So the only lasting image you have of Fierceness in the big Triple Crown races was just that 15th in the Derby. So not good there. Rebounded with a Jim Dandy and Travers victory right there at Saratoga. Looked great. He got back in form, did things the right way, did things in an impressive way. So obviously everything's going great for him. And then on a tremendous effort in the Classic to run second. I mean, just ran his butt off in this race, so to speak. Set right outside of just a torrid pace, was still able to hold on and finish second. And he proved a lot of his doubters wrong, even in defeat. I think a lot of people, even though he had won 2 straight races, they kept kind of saying, well, he had things his own way that day in the Jim Dandy or the Travers. And, I'm still not convinced he's got heart, things like this. Are you convinced now? You're sitting off of a 44 and change pace going 1.25 miles, and he still only got beat 1.5 lengths to Sierra Leone. In the oddest way, he proved who he was in the Classic in a defeat. He proved his doubters wrong, I believe, in defeat in the Classic, and he proved he's just a damn good racehorse in the Classic. However, he probably lost everything. He lost horse of the year to Torpedo Anna. He may have lost 3-year-old of the year. And in fact, I will say he probably lost 3-year-old of the year to Sierra Leone in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Sierra Leone, 7 starts this year, 3 wins, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. We'll go through his resume. Won the Risen Star, won the Bluegrass, second in the Kentucky Derby, third in the Belmont, second in the Jim Dandy, third in the Travers, and then, of course, the win in the Breeders' Cup Classic. So they each have 3 wins. Let's analyze that first, and we'll look. They each have 2 Grade 1 victories, and they each have 1 Grade 2 victory. The Risen Star was the Grade 2 victory for Sierra Leone. Fast forward over, or look over to Fierceness. His Grade 2 victory came in the Jim Dandy. I personally view the Jim Dandy as a bigger race than the Risen Star. So I would give that point to Fierceness. So Fierceness, his Grade 2 was better. So point for Fierceness. Now, the 2 Grade 1 victories, let's look at them. The Florida Derby and the Bluegrass. Of course, the Florida Derby for Fierceness, the Bluegrass for Sierra Leone. That's a wash. They're both major Grade 1 Kentucky Derby prep races at major racetracks that are running during that time. I think that's a little bit of a wash. The Travers Stakes was the other Grade 1 victory for Fierceness. Sierra Leone gets the Breeders' Cup Classic as his other Grade 1. As much as I love Saratoga and as much as I love the Travers, the Breeders' Cup Classic is a bigger win. So when you look at comparing Grade 1 wins, that's a point for Sierra Leone, and that's a big point for Sierra Leone. Other kind of factors when you look into this, as far as the Grade 1 wins go, the Travers, again, a huge win. Beat the Breeders' Cup Distaff winner. It did Fierceness in the Travers. Very impressive. Beat the Breeders' Cup Classic winner in the Travers as well. But the Breeders' Cup Classic was a win against older horses. That's high for a 3-year-old to get that. That's a very good thing. And Sierra Leone was able to do it. Now, you might also say, well, Fierceness also beat all the older horses in the Classic as well. That is true. So, maybe that kind of negates that point. Here's a big one for me. And I think at the end of the day, what's probably going to sway people to go, hey, it's Sierra Leone. They went head to head 4 times each won twice, or each finished ahead of each other twice, I should say. The two biggest races that they faced off in were the Breeders' Cup Classic and the Kentucky Derby. That's the two biggest races in the country every year, right? Sierra Leone finished ahead of them in both of them. The other two races, the Jim Dandy and Travers, huge races, but not quite as big as the Classic and the Kentucky Derby. But like I said, the Jim Dandy and the Travers, Fierceness finished ahead of Sierra Leone. It's kind of crazy that Sierra Leone has been able to not only get his name back in conversation, he's probably going to be the 3-year-old of the year after not winning since April. But in the races he didn't win, he was second, third, and third. So even though he wasn't winning since April, he was around. He was there. He kept running. He hit the board in 2 Triple Crown races. He kept himself in a position to where if he could somehow get a win like the Breeders' Cup Classic, he's all of a sudden the horse again. He's the one that could win 3-year-old of the year. And as of right now, I believe he is the 3-year-old of the year. There's one thing left, though, that could sway it. I think no matter who you think, whether it's Fierceness or whether you think it's Sierra Leone that deserves it, what if they try to run one more race before the end of the season? There are 3 races that could sway this thing, and it's so close that one extra win, I think, does catapult whatever horse would try it as the 3-year-old of the year. So there are 3 races that can matter. The Clark Stakes that is the Friday after Thanksgiving at Churchill Downs, Black Friday. That is a grade 1 race going 2 turns against older horses. If Sierra Leone or Fierceness was able to win that race, it could catapult them to 3-year-old of the year and kind of maybe in the debate. The Cigar Mile, a grade 1 race going a 1-turn mile at Aqueduct. That is another one on the table. And the 7 Furlong Malibu on December 26th, the day after Christmas at Santa Anita. Those are the 3 races that are huge to this. And at times, certain years has catapulted a horse that if it's debatable and they go win that race, they become maybe 3-year-old of the year. Now, I don't think Sierra Leone will be in any of those 3 races. The only race that I think makes sense for Sierra Leone would be the Clark, and I just don't think they're coming back in 3 weeks and running in the Clark after the Classic winner. I think that's just not a thing that's going to happen. The other 2 races, they're just not distances that Sierra Leone will be best at, a mile and 7 furlongs. However, I think Fierceness could go a mile, could go 7 furlongs. I think the Clark is totally off the table for both of them. They're just not turning around that quickly with either one. The Cigar Mile is the first weekend in December. That's, I don't know, probably off the table. With Rapoli, he's an aggressive owner. He might think about the 7 Furlong Malibu. That is, I would not be shocked. I would say I would be surprised if we see either of them for the rest of the season. But that December 26th race, if Fierceness could get it, he would probably be the 3-year-old of the year. I think Rapoli cares about that kind of thing. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. If I was a betting man, which I obviously am, I think the race is over. I think Sierra Leone's going to get it. I think Fierce is going to be runner up, and I don't think they'll run again. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that we see Fierceness again. We'll just see what happens, though. So as of right now, I do think the 3-year-old of the year is going to be going to be Sierra Leone. I think it'll be close. I think there's debates to be had, but I do think getting that Breeders' Cup Classic win in a year where nobody really stamped themselves in the 3-year-old male division as being dominant, I think that Classic win will count for Sierra Leone, and I think he's going to win it. So that's kind of where I'm leaning at right now. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Hit that like button if you like it. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. We'll be here 365 days a year. We cover racing from top to bottom. So just because the Breeders' Cup is over does not mean this site shuts down. This site, it will be going just as strong as ever. So thanks, everybody, for joining us for this one, and we will see you for the next one.